So good afternoon. I'm Dr. Barrios, here to deliver an update on the patient from the plane crash. At 9:58 a.m. on Saturday, December 28th, we received Mr. Wade Berzas. He was a patient who presented to our emergency room from a Acadian ambulance as a result of the plane crash that occurred off of Verrod School Road in Lafayette. Mr. Berzas was conscious at the time of arrival and presented with burns over approximately 75% of his body, as well as a shoulder dislocation and lacerations to his head. He was triaged by our emergency room physicians and taken upstairs to our burn center, where he was treated by a specially trained surgical team. Mr. Berzas' condition is extremely serious, and he remains intubated, medically sedated, and in critical condition. This morning at 7 a.m., we took Mr. Berzas into surgery that lasted approximately 2 hours. He is recovering now in our burn intensive care unit. The purpose of the surgery this morning was to further assess his wounds and to provide temporary biologic dressings to the burn areas. Mr. Berzas has several things working in his favor: his young age, his overall good health, his strong family support, and his unwavering faith. He has a long journey ahead and will take this day by day. I'm highly confident in the burn team we have assembled to work around the clock for his care. Having a burn center here in Acadiana allows his family to remain close by while he recovers. We have seen that family support makes a significant difference in the recovery of our burn patients. Mr. Berzas remains in critical condition.
All right. Questions?
Cassie Sherm with News 15. When it comes to a burn situation like this, what is the recovery process?
The recovery process is a situation like this very long. He has a major burn. Burns do evolve. What we see the first day is not always what we get day 2 or 3 or even a week later. So it's going to be a long road ahead for him, but it's a day-by-day process, and right now he certainly remains critically ill.
All right. Natasha, Stina?
Yes, you mentioned that his age is working in his favor. Any other factors specifically that lend you hope for his recovery in this case?
Yes, ma'am. So like I mentioned, obviously his relatively young age, his otherwise good health coming into this injury, again, his strong family support and his faith. Another thing certainly working in his favor is he did not have an inhalational injury, which would mean a burn into his lungs, which certainly would have made his situation much more critical.
Chris?
I know you mentioned his faith, and on Saturday we saw photos of hospital staff and the ER joining together in prayer. In a situation like this, how does faith help along with the medical side of this?
Yes, sir. So great question. Obviously at Lourdes, we're a faith-based health center and health community. We are led by the sisters, and Sister Wynn is our angel who prays with us, the team, the patients, the families daily. And we have seen firsthand that patients who have a strong faith seem to do better and recover quicker, and we think that plays a big role.
Megan with the Advocate?
Yes, you said that he was conscious when he first arrived and that he's been medically sedated since. At any point, has he been able to give any kind of statement on what happened that might help investigators investigating the plane crash and what happened there?
No, ma'am, that's a great question, and one that I know everybody wants answered. Unfortunately, there's been very little we can get from him. With major burns like this, the patients typically require a large volume of fluid to resuscitate them. They become very edematous, and so very early on in his presentation, he had a breathing tube placed, which is going to prevent him from being able to talk. Again, he remains critically ill. It'll be a day-by-day situation, and it's too early to speculate as to when we'll be able to remove the breathing tube that allow him to speak.
All right, no further questions. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so thanks for your attention this afternoon, and we as the medical community and staff here at Lourdes, we continue to pray for Mr. Berzas, his family, and the strength that they're all going to need to pull through this. Thank you.